Recently, Luke from Luke's Points and Miles asked the question and challenged other creators to answer, what if you could only have one card that had an annual fee? Which one would it be? So this is my attempt to answer that question. And I think if you watch some of my videos, you might already know what it is, but I'm going to give several options. So stay tuned. And if you would, both hit that like button and subscribe. Okay, that's kind of an interesting question. I mean, if you could only have one annual fee card, but then as many unlimited different cards that didn't have a fee, that earned all their different points in their different ecosystems, what would be the one anchor card, the one annual fee card that you'd choose? And Luke in his video kind of came to the conclusion that his would be the CSR, the Chase Sapphire Reserve. And I think that's a really good choice. And I think it would probably be my maybe fourth choice if it were me. But for me, when I think about what ecosystem I get the most value out of, that's going to be the determiner. But some of the other ecosystems that I really love is I really like American Express. However, when I look at American Express, I don't see any of their cards that if I could just have one card and that card had to last me and I had to use that, that would be the one that I would choose. Now, I would keep things like my Blue Business Plus because I love that 2 MR points on any purchase up to $50,000 a year. I don't have to have an anchor card to transfer out my points because I have the old everyday card that I just hang on to because it's been around so long and it helps my credit file to have an account that's so old, but I would still be able to transfer points. And so when I think about things like the gold card, I just don't think American Express points would be the ones I would choose above all the rest. So I wouldn't want that annual fee and have to deal with those credits as my only anchor card. It wouldn't give me any lounge access or anything of that nature. So that one's out. And the platinum card, I have a business platinum, but I won't keep that past the first year. I just did that for the sign-up bonus. And I just don't see, I'll get a platinum card at some point, I'm sure, because I want the bonus, but I don't see the platinum card as being overly valuable. For me, it's because everybody touts the lounge access. And I think that's always been odd because who travels alone all the time? I mean, and you'd only get lounge access for yourself. And if you want it for somebody else, you got to pay almost another $200 for an authorized user. So that's getting up to $1,000 for that card. It's just not worth that for me. So that wouldn't be it. When it comes to some of the other high annual fee cards I have the Delta Reserve. I wouldn't keep that because Delta is kind of my secondary. I do have platinum status with Delta, so I do fly them quite a bit, and I really like the experience. But when it comes to the end of the day, if it's my one card, that's my big anchor card, even though I do get lounge access to both Centurion lounges and also to Delta Sky Clubs with that card, and it gives me a companion pass and some great credits and all that. I love the card, but I wouldn't keep it because Delta Sky Miles are just so bad and just almost, pennies on the dollar. They're just so useless in some ways. So it definitely wouldn't be that one. What are some of the other annual fee cards that I have? Well, I have the Venture X. And that one, I would consider that because the Venture X is a very powerful card. I mean, in Luke's previous video where he talked about the fact that it's the best card if you can only have one card altogether. So in that case, I might keep it. But as far as if I can have other cards that earn, then I don't think that's going to be my anchor card because I already have other no annual fee cards that can give me 2 points per dollar. And that's really the superpower of the Venture X, along with the lounges. But those are okay, but not necessarily the best. So what does that leave? Well, I think my second choice would be my American Airlines World Elite MasterCard, that executive card that gives me access to the American Airlines lounges and all of that. And the reason I would choose that card, and that may seem like a strange one, is because there is no other real way to get American Airlines miles than to fly on American, which I do a lot. I have Platinum Pro status with them, and I fly them quite a bit also. They're kind of my primary choice of flying domestically. But their miles, American points, American miles are just worth more. They are valuable. I mean, compare them to United or compare them to Delta, and there's just no comparison. And it doesn't get talked about a lot in the community, but American, I mean, you can get a business class trip from the U.S. to Doha in Qatar Q Suites for 70,000 American miles. Try to find anything like that on many of these other programs. You might be able to dig and find something decent, but it's just easy with American. You can get domestic flights. I've flown all the way across the country for like 10,000 American points, all the way across the United States. And you're never going to find that on Delta. And if you do find it on United, it's going to be a very rare occurrence. So because of the need to earn American miles, and I just value them so highly, and that card is good in a lot of ways. If you book hotels through their portal, it's like 10 American miles per dollar. It gives you 4x on American flights. It gives you lounge access. It's a good card, a really good card. So that would be my second choice. But my first choice, hands down, no question, I didn't even have to think about it. My first choice is I still have the City Prestige card. The City Prestige card, you can't apply for that anymore. And if my only option were the Strata Premier, it wouldn't be my choice. But the City Prestige is $495 a year, but it gives the best priority pass with restaurant access. It also gives a $250 easy to use travel credit, and it gives 5 points per dollar on airfare, 5 points per dollar on dining. And that's one of our biggest spend categories in my household. And you can use it as your anchor card to transfer out. Then you can pair it with the City Custom Cash and get 5x on other categories. I mean, the double cash and get 2x on everyday spend. To me, that would be my ultimate choice. So for me, it's the City Prestige card. But for other people, if you don't already have that card, you're kind of out of luck on getting it. So my second choice in that situation would be my American Airlines card, because that card just gives you those super valuable American points, those American miles. So I'd be curious to hear what you say. I'm sure a lot of other creators are probably going to make a similar video. So what would your choice be if you could only have one card with an annual fee? Thanks for Luke for kind of giving this idea, and I'd love to hear your comments. See you next time.